So you're now left with the skull. So you've chopped out them pieces. So you've got that. Go in with your airbrush and just dust over round them pieces. Just put a little guide of paint just to separate the skull. So you've got a little separation from there to there. This is a lot darker here, a lot darker here. So we can drop that little lining on here, go in a little bit darker. We've got a line that comes up here, which is this one here. Now you can chop that. I'll show you what you can do here. You can follow that line up with your scalpel, chop it up, and then you can lift it and move it out the way. So when you spray, you can just drop that line in like that. Darker up here. So we've worked that piece in there. You've got more to do in here. And just go around and work a bit at a time. We could start the spanner. You can see the line that comes in here. You could do this freehand, it's not a problem. And don't worry about going over these are just squiggles and lines. A bit darker here. We can darken these out and sharpen these up. You can just keep placing your stencils back on and making your lines darker. It just makes it pop out a little bit more. So we've worked that one in. We can add more to that. We can just keep going in, adding some little lines. We might as well work this one in. So you've got your lines you can follow there. This is where you're going to need your trigger control down. And today my trigger control is atrocious because my hands are really cold. Darker here. Few little dots. So that one's sort of worked in. We can start adding a bit of shape to the bottom of this chin. So just hold the bottom of your stencil down and just dust. You're aiming to put paint on this piece of the paper and that. So aim for like the centre and it will just cast a bit of paint over the bottom of that chin. Like that. Drop a bit up there. That's more of a prominent line coming around here. Bit of shading in this piece. Darken that out there. Same with this one. Just put that a little bit darker there. Set them eyes back a bit more. Line that there. Roll that round. Darken these bits out. Like that. We can darken the nose out. Just make that a little bit sharper. Moving back down to the teeth, we're going to darken the inner of these lines out on the teeth. Like that. We've got a lot more dark around here. Bottom of this chin again. Just going to do some little dark spots coming up. Darker in here. Just these little patches of dark. That comes round. You can hold your shield again. You can use a part of the shield and hold that like there and just come off that. Like that. Darker here. Do some little darker bits here. And I'm just flicking the trigger and just bouncing the brush to get a little sort of bit of texture in on these. A little bit on the teeth. We could go in with white after this and just start bringing like little bits out. You can make these pop out a little bit more. But we'll just go in with one colour on this just for this demo. Right, we'll work this one in here. So when you look at it, you've got that dark line, just follow your lines, because this is all line, we're just going to line it. So follow your pencil lines. Drop a bit round there. And the stencils move really bad, but we can sort that out anyway. A little bit of texture on that. This is what I mean by you've got to really sort of pin it in place when you do it. And then we'll just drop that line in. Got that bit in, so that one's in. We can put a few more textures and little bits. There's shading in there. And then we can sharpen this up. Once this comes off, we can sharpen it up. We'll just do a little bit round that. The bolt at the top, dust over it. And follow your lines. Like that, dust over again. The little crack coming down. Like that. So a lot of freehand in this. Lot of trigger control, guys. Start to sharpening some of these little lines up. So when you move, you can just see now when you move this one away, you've got all your bits in place. I'm going to go a bit darker under here, make this darker. Just a little bit darker under these bits. Like that. Do some little cracks and lines. Just make it your own. Like that. So I think that will do. We're just going to go a little bit darker on that and just make that same as that one. Let them stand out a bit more. And this one. Just round. I'm going to get a bit of overspray over here. Really should mask off this outer, but I didn't. We'll do a little bit of texture in this bottom piece here. Just make these a little bit more. So now you can go back in with that one. And you can just pop these out a little bit more. Darken them out. Like that. Just makes the eyes pop out a little bit more. Just going in, flicking the brush, just give it a little bit of texture. Got that line in there, that's darker. Darker here. A little bit of texture here. I'm just wafting the brush, just giving it a little bit of texture in the top. You can put your own textures in, you've not got to copy the reference, as long as you're getting a little bit of texture in there and sort of make it your own. It's a practice panel. So if we take this off now, we should have a fairly good looking skull underneath. And you can see the rolled up pieces of paper, the masking. Just carefully pick them off. And I've got a little bit of overspray, but it doesn't matter. Now this has got like a sort of a faded shadow around it. So you could place your stencil back up and just dust a little bit in, like that, a bit round the bottom, hold it in place, just a little bit in here, like that. So it's looking not as picture perfect as that, but it's a nice little test one for you to try. And you can go in and you can just start to trick it up, darken bits out. You can use your shapes that you've cut out if you want to get some sharper lines. Hold them against it like that. You've got the little bits here, so you can just doodle these in, these little breaks. And just have a play, guys. It's all practice. And you can just keep adding and adding and adding to it. But once you've got your main outer shape in and you've dusted over and you get the eye sockets in, you've got your lines to work from. That's another good reason why I say go in and do your pencil on the back and just put your lines in. And if you can see your lines underneath, you can just go over and just touch up over your lines and just work it to how you want to work it. More and more. Just keep an eye on your reference. And so you've not got to get it picture perfect. Just have a play, it's a practice, and it's a nice one to practice on. Schools are good to practice on. A few more little bits. And as I say, just keep working it to how you want it. So just a quick school, guys, and how you can use a stencil to get your shapes, to get you started. Drop your pencil lines in, it will help you with your artwork, guys, it really will. Nice. If I projected, I'd go in a little bit lighter, but if you're doing what we just did, where you put your piece of paper on, draw over, it just gives you something to follow, because there's nothing worse than just cutting out that skull with the sockets and going dark, dark, dark and dark, and then you've got to make up the rest. If you've got the little pencil lines that you can follow and work to, just gives you that little bit of guidance, and then the rest you can make your own. You can add your as I'm doing now, just putting squiggly highlights in and making little bits pop out a little bit more. Might just put some smoke coming out the eyes. And you can just keep doodling and adding. You could go a little bit darker on the background, which would bring the skull forward more, and then when you put this like smoke effect over, you could waft it over the sides and just make it your own. You could now drop candies over this. Candy the skull, where you've got your darks here, go back over your darks with a candy and just drop in on the darks and then bring a bit of colour into the skull. So once you've got the main thing down like this, you can then start adding and make the piece your own. So I hope this video has helped you out on using a stencil. Nice little simple one, guys. You see how we did it. We had 2 pieces of the paper, we chopped them out. Take your time, drop your pressure down, especially when you're working with paper stencils. There's nothing worse than thinking, right, I need to be working at 25-30 psi. That's what I've been told. Drop it down. Mix your paint a little bit thinner, go in a lot lighter, turn your pressure down because you can see it flaps about. Get your outer mask secured down, mask out your other piece of artwork, and then work within that masking, and it'll give you that nice sort of like sharp edge. And you can work in, you've got your pencil lines we drew down, you've got lines to follow, just gives you something to follow. Drop all your textures down, have a play, and then make the skull your own, and then do a few of them, try different variations, different colours, things like that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Nice simple skull for the beginner. You can use paper stencils, you've not got to go out and break the bank, guys, and start buying all these fancy stencils. Printer, print some out, cut them out as we did, and have a play. That's what it's about. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.